Hello and welcome fellow sports lovers. My name is Jack. And today, we are talking about Barcelona's new number 25, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. An unfortunate and ever-present part of the footballing world, or the world in general, is reducing what you see to its most prominent features. An even more superficial segment of this is not only focusing on the negatives, but failing to see past them. A byproduct of this is seen when people speak about footballers. Harry Maguire? Reduced to the blunders he has made on occasion. Sergio Dest? As good as invisible against Bayern Munich and has failed to perform from perfect. However, few people take the time to commend Maguire's leadership and ball-playing abilities. Dest's attacking involvement, being amongst the best in European right-backs, is rarely spoken about. There is a similar perception, though not as extreme, around Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Aubameyang is a finished player who is dependent only on his pace and is no longer a good striker. The finished player. We expected him to earn a move to Barcelona in the winter, especially at the age of 32. However, he pushed for the transfer, and eventually signed for the Catalan Giants on the last day of the transfer window. While Barcelona fans were mostly joyous about the transfer, Arsenal fans were surprisingly amused. Social media flooded with fans calling the striker finished and past his prime, even though he had barely lost his physical attributes. Less than 2 months into 2022, Aubameyang has already proven his doubters wrong. With 7 goals and an assist in La Liga, he has scored as many goals as Karim Benzema since the turn of the year. 2 of those came against Real Madrid a couple of nights back, and Auba could not hold back the diss for the fans who called him finished. Aubameyang was not, surprisingly, Xavi's first-choice striker for the winter. The Spanish manager was gunning for Alvaro Morata, but opted to sign the Gabonese later in January. He could not happier now, though, and has heaped heavy praise for the former Arsenal man. Aubameyang is a gift from the skies. He's positive, hardworking, and fits well in the dressing room. It's a privilege to coach him, Xavi said about Aubameyang following their 4-0 drubbing of Osasuna. With 15 games, or less, remaining in the season for Barcelona, and silverware in sight, Aubameyang needs to maintain his form and spearhead the team to a victory. What he brings to Barcelona. To understand how all aspects of Barcelona's new striker can be optimized, focusing on the strengths while eliminating the weaknesses is necessary. Aubameyang is often uncomfortable in tight spaces and isn't really in a stage of his career where making the necessary changes is a possibility. This rules out playing him as a false 9 or a deep striker. But his strengths are clear. In the box, Aubameyang is an expert at sniffing out even the faintest trace of a goal. His off-the-ball movement has been honed almost to perfection over the years. His pace is still capable of exploiting most defensive high lines. The Gabonese striker shows incredible anticipation in the box. Knowing exactly where the cross is going to end up and timing his blindside runs perfectly to reach that point before the defender is arguably his most vital asset. An aspect of bringing out the best in him is also tailoring his teammates to a few different instructions if necessary. For example, the box-to-box version that we saw of Frenkie de Jong when he went on a scoring streak would complement Auba perfectly. Having someone to occupy space in the box when the balls are on the wings is crucial to his goal-scoring ability. While some strikers can control the box independently, the same cannot be said for Aubameyang. Final thoughts. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has been a top scorer in 2 separate leagues, African Player of the Year 2015, 6-time inclusion in the CAF Team of the Year, among other honors. There is much he has to offer. Challenging for the league is perhaps far from rational, granted, it is still mathematically possible. However, a Champions League finish will be enough of a triumph in the league this season. In the Europa League, owing to the former Arsenal striker's proficiency in front of goal, foreseeing a continental triumph is far from the least realistic of outcomes. He individually has sufficient experience in the tournament and is familiar enough with the level of opposition to make a difference for the team in the coming weeks and months. Aubameyang's primary role is to be a goalscorer, and as long as Xavi Hernandez uses him in ways that exploit his strengths while limiting his weaknesses, then Barcelona's aspirations might just hit new heights come the end of the season. Thanks for sticking around so long. Please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to our channel.